So let's come into a comfortable seat. And today we're just going to see where the wind takes us. It's a little bit windy here in Lennox Head. And I was teaching a class this morning. And sorry, my voice is not sounding very clear. So I was teaching a class this morning. And we were working with a beautiful little centering meditation to be reminded of the elements. And so I thought we would start our session with that this morning. So just come into a comfortable seat and close your eyes, remembering that you can sit up on something if that's comfortable, or you can straddle a bolster. I know there's often people watching the replays, so just make sure you're comfortable in whatever seat works for you. And then just close your eyes. And just start by noticing your breath. Noticing your breath coming and going. And then start to become aware of the sounds around you. Noticing the sounds in the room. Maybe you can hear sounds outside your house, your space. And just noticing each sound as it begins, as it lives, and as it disappears. And then reach and stretch your awareness to the furthest sound. And noticing how sound travels through space. Without the space, there's nowhere for the sound to go. And think for a moment about how space is endless, vast, beginningless. Now be aware of where your hands are touching your body. Maybe you've got your hands on your thighs. Maybe you're resting your hands in your lap. And also notice the feeling or the sensation of air on your skin. Noticing the parts of the body that are clothed, and then the parts of the body that are exposed. And the sense of touch relates to the element of air. Now think about how, like space, air is everywhere in abundance. We can't trap the element of air. It might appear trapped in our lungs or sometimes in a balloon. But as soon as you break the balloon, where does the air go? It goes back to air. So like space, the element of air is everywhere. Now notice your eyes and how your eyes are closed. You might notice some light filtering through your closed eyelids. Maybe you can sense that even though the eyes are closed, that seeing continues. And this relates to the element of fire. So in order to see, we need light. Light is another intangible quality. We might be able to see fire, but the quality of light, it's boundless, endless, ever present. Now be aware of the saliva, the water in your mouth. Maybe take a swallow. And think about how the body is made up of water. But also thinking about how water is everywhere in abundance. Not just the water in our mouth, not just the water in our body, but the water on the earth. And how water is the constant in the wave, in the ocean, in the stream, in the lake. Water is available in abundance. Now notice the smell coming in through your nostrils. Maybe you can smell something, maybe your sense of smell isn't that great. But the sense of smell relates to the element of earth. It takes a little bit of gas, a little bit of connection between the gas and the earth to create the sense of smell. And think about how often you remember the earth when you're standing on it. How often we take earth for granted. The earth is available in abundance. Our bones are made of earth. Our muscles. They call this the Annamaya Kosha, the food body. And now become aware of the one experiencing the sounds, the sights, the touches, the tastes, the smells. And notice how you can't turn off the experiencer, the knower, the awareness. Notice how awareness is everywhere in abundance. Not limited to a form, not limited to a sound. Awareness is continuous. The experiencer is continuous. And that's the nature of who you are. Now come back to your breath and deepen and lengthen your breath. You can engage Ujjayi if you like. Long, slow inhalation, long, slow exhalation. Feel the mind focusing on the breath. And then slowly opening the eyes, interlacing the fingers, and reaching the arms up, taking a big breath. Draw your chin to your chest. Feel the stretch behind your shoulders. And then exhale, lowering your arms, interlacing your fingers behind you, and opening through your chest. And then exhale, releasing the hands. And then sliding your right hand out to the right, raising your left arm up, taking a big stretch through that left side. And then inhale, coming back to center and big stretch over to the right side. And then inhale, turning yourself to the right, bringing your left hand to your right thigh. And then turning yourself to the other side. Big breath. And then exhale, coming back to center and just walking your hands out in front of you for a moment. Going as far as you can, feeling that stretch through your buttocks, forehead to the floor. Taking a moment here. And then slowly walking upright, bringing the other shin in front. And again, walking yourself forward. Really reaching the arms out in front, feeling that stretch through the buttocks, forehead to the floor. And then slowly coming upright and coming onto the hands and knees. So tucking the toes under, sending the weight back as you inhale, and as you exhale, coming forward, rounding through the upper spine. And again, inhale, tucking the toes under, sending the weight back. And as you exhale, coming forward and rounding through the upper spine. Inhale, tucking the toes under and sending the weight back. And exhale, rounding through the upper spine. And then this time, keep the tops of the feet relaxed and just reach the arms out in front. Inhale, come on to the hands and knees. Let's lift the sitting bones high and come straight up into our down dog. You can soften through the knees or have the legs straight. Let your head hang. Start to really engage your Ujjayi breath now, feeling that opening through the armpits, lifting through the thigh muscles, making sure you're not over-expressing through your rib cage, opening into the whole front of the body, taking deep, long, slow breaths. And then back onto the hands and knees and send the seat back to the heels. And once again, onto the hands and knees, send the sitting bones high, coming into that down dog position. Letting the head hang. You want to really spread the toes here, lift through the thigh muscles, working the inner thighs towards each other. All right, so now we're going to come into plank position, and we're going to walk the toes to touch. And you're going to bend the knees and then rotate the knees to the left. So your weight is in both your hands, and you're rotating your knees to the left. Then you're going to spring forward and rotate your knees to the right. You can look to your right knees and spring forward and rotate to the left. And spring forward and rotate to the right. And spring forward and rotate to the left. So it's quite strong in the upper body. Spring forward, rotate to the right. Spring forward and rotate to the left. Come into plank position and once again, press back into down dog. Breathe here in down dog, inhalation, exhalation. And then drop onto the hands and knees and send the seat back to the heels. Take a moment, your child's pose, just take some breaths. All right, and then come back up onto the hands and knees. Shift the weight slightly forward over the middle finger and lower yourself in one piece to the floor. Just lift your upper chest here. Just hold in baby cobra. Feel the back of the neck long. Relax through the buttocks. Take some breaths into the upper chest. All right, and then when you press up, turn your whole body to the side. So you're going to swing your legs around and you're going to reach your right buttock to your right heel to your right buttock and stretch through the right side of your body. Then you're going to come back to center and lower yourself to the floor and just lift your upper chest. You're going to come back down, press up onto the hands and knees, swing around to the other side and stretch deeply through the left side of your body. Okay, and then we're going to do this on the breath. So we're going to inhale, keep your knees in the air, lower, coming up, and lean all the way to that right side, stretching right heel to right buttocks. Coming to center, you can lift your feet, lower a little bit, and then take yourself to the other side, stretch it. One more, exhale, lower. And coming to the other side, stretching through the right side. Last one, exhale, lower. And stretching to the other side. All right, and then from here, we're going to rest in down dog, lifting the sitting bones high, coming back up into down dog. Just take a moment here, breathe. Okay, so reach your right leg into the air at hip height and step the right foot in between the hands. Drop onto the left knee. Swing yourself around to the side of your mat and extend that leg and just lean over and stretch into that left side again. And then turning yourself back around, step back into down dog. And then come back onto the, from here, raise the left leg into the air, sorry. Step the left foot in between the hands, drop onto the right knee. Now you're gonna face to the other side of the mat and lean over and stretch into that right side. Take a breath. And then coming back to center and stepping back again into down dog. Lengthening in down dog. All right, now you're gonna drop onto your hands and knees. And you're gonna extend that left leg back behind you. Lean back slightly. And then lean forward and just bend your elbows. Release that knee. Raise the other leg into the air. Shift the weight forward, bend the elbows. Lift back up. And relax the knee. Tuck the toes under, come back into down dog. All right, so we're really working into the arms at the moment, into the side body. Let's look to the hands and step or jump the feet forward, lengthening through the front of the spine, and exhale, fold forward. All right, from here, you're gonna bend the knees and reach the arms out in front, coming into chair. And then exhale, fold forward. We'll do this a few times. Inhale, bend the knees, reaching the arms out in front. And exhale, fold forward. And one more, bending the knees, reaching the arms out in front. And exhale, fold forward. This time, we're going to stand all the way upright. And exhale, we're going to fold forward. Inhale, come into the squat here. And just open the chest. And then exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, raise the arms up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into a squat, opening the chest. And exhale, fold forward. And inhale, reach the arms all the way up. And then exhale, fold forward. All right, lengthen the spine, step the left leg back, drop onto the left knee, and raise the arms up, coming into low lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step straight back into down dog. Drop onto the knees and send the seat back to the heels. And then drop the forearms to the floor, slide the chest through the hands, come into baby cobra. Press over the knees, press back into down dog. Step the left foot forward again, drop onto the right knee, raise the arms up. Exhale, plant your hands to the floor, step the back foot forward to meet the front foot, fold, and then reach the arms all the way up, big one. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale, dive yourself forward. Inhale, rise halfway. Plant your hands and step your right leg back. Drop onto your right knee. Inhale, deepen the lunge. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, down dog. Drop onto your hands and knees. Send your seat back to your heels. Drop your forearms. Slide your chest through your hands. Roll through baby cobra. Roll over the toes. Press back. Down dog. Step the right foot in between the hands. Drop onto the left knee. Inhale, deepen through the groin. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step forward, folding forwards. Letting the head release. Inhale, arms, eyes, fingertips up. Exhale, arms come down. One more round, raising the arms up. This time we're going to come into a full sun salutation. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step or jump back body in one long line. If you can, lower to chaturanga or lower to the floor. Move the hands back, lift into up dog, and roll over the toes. Press back into down dog. Long, slow inhalation, long, slow exhalation. Draw your ribs in, draw your abdomen back to your spine. Raise the right leg into the air, step the right foot in between the hands, get your balance, and raise your arms up. Deepen through the front knee, straighten the back leg, or if it feels too strong, you can bend the back knee slightly. Arms are nice and wide, breathing here, and then bring your hands to the floor and step back into down. Step the left leg forward, get your balance, raise your arms up, come into that lunge. Really straighten the back leg. Take a breath here, and then bring your hands down to the floor, step back into down dog. Drop onto the hands and knees. Send the seat back to the heels. Let's curl through the spine this time, raising the arms up. And exhale, sliding the hands out in front of you. Inhale, bringing yourself forward and lowering to the floor. Moving the hands back, lift into up dog and press back into down dog. Lengthening in down dog. Long, slow inhalation, long, slow exhalation. Look to the hand step or jump the feet forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out to the side. Come all the way up. And exhale, let your hands release. All right, we're going to start by stepping to face the left side of the mat. We're going to open the legs out. Actually, we're going to come into goddess pose. And in this position, just bring your hands to your thighs. So it's a deep inner thigh stretch. You're going to drop your right shoulder and then bring your shoulder back and drop your left shoulder. Notice where you feel the stretch, right? So it could be in your ribs, coming up and dropping the other shoulder and coming up, and then releasing and just holding here, pressing the palms, maybe shifting the weight a little bit, and then straightening the legs, turning the toes to face forward, bringing the hands to the hips, opening the chest. And then you're just going to fold forward at the hip crease. Maybe you can bring your hands in front, or maybe you want to bring your hands onto blocks, right? So if you're working with blocks, right, you can have your hands on blocks. So why would you use blocks here? Because maybe it's really uncomfortable to keep your spine long with your hands on the floor. Maybe it means that you're rounding too much through your upper spine. All right, press your left hand on the block. We're going to do a twist here and raise the right arm into the air. Hold here and notice the stretch in your left inner thigh. The tendency is to drop this hip in. See if you can lift it up and back a little bit and feel the inner thighs drawing towards each other. So we're trying to create a flow of energy from the tail all the way to the crown, but always also up the legs. Bring the right hand down and raise the left arm up, feeling a stretch all the way through the left chest. And then my hip drops a little bit, so draw that hip back. That's a much deeper stretch in the inner thighs. Now, I know we don't normally start our sessions like this with our standing poses, but we're just going a little wild. It's a windy, we're letting the wind take us today. And then bring your hands back down. Keep your spine long for a moment. Really work the inner thighs towards each other and lift the abdomen back to the spine. Great. And then from here, bring yourself upright. Now, turn your left foot in, turn your right foot out, and bend your right knee. Rotate your hips around a little bit, right? So we're continuing with that mode of making sure that the knee and the ankle are stacked, that there's no pressure in the lower back. Raising the arms, looking over the middle finger. The tendency might be to have the arms up. Let's lower them slightly so they're a little bit lower than the shoulders. They don't have to be at shoulder height. And then gazing over that middle finger, connect with your breath, your inhalation and your exhalation. And then slowly straighten the leg. Turn both toes to face forward and turn your feet the other way. So left heel lines up with right heel, right foot turns in, bending the knee, raising the arms, looking over the middle finger. The elbows are slightly lower. That knee and that heel should be in line. Hopefully I'm demonstrating properly. Fingers are together, activating that back leg, drawing the abdomen back to the spine. Inhaling, exhaling. 2 more breaths. All right, and then bring the toes to face center. Interlace the fingers this time, open the chest and fold all the way forward. Notice if it feels a little bit lighter in the inner thighs now. Right, so every pose leads to every other pose, supports every other pose. Couple of breaths here. And then bringing your hands to your thighs, lengthening your spine, coming upright. All right, turning the back foot in, turning the front foot out again. Rotating the hips slightly. We're going to come to Trikonasana now. So sending that left buttocks towards the back of the mat, rolling that torso down, lengthening both sides of the body, bringing the hand to the ankle, checking in. There's no pressure anywhere in the knee joints. Maybe you want to soften the knee. Look, if you tend to hyperextend, you can also put a block here to work against that hyperextension, right? So if your knee locks back, play around with placing a block there in the triangle pose. Raise the arm up, breathe, inhale and exhale. Sometimes even just having a block there makes it easier. All right, and then bend slightly, bring yourself upright, turn your feet the other way. Rotate your hips around, send your buttocks to the back of the mat, sliding the hand down, letting the top hip drop, activating both thighs, rotating the chest open, raising the arm, putting the block there if you tend to hyperextend, pressing through all the toes, being aware that you're really lifting up on the instep of your foot. Crown of the head in line with the tail, connecting with your breath, inhalation and exhalation. Noticing how you feel in your body right now. And then slowly coming upright. Now we're going to turn the feet out and come back into goddess pose. All right, so bending that area, working the upper thigh. Palms are touching, shoulders are relaxed. Couple more breaths. All right, and then let's bring our hands either side of our front foot. And we're going to step back into down dog. Just taking a moment here. Noticing any feelings, any changes in the body. And then let's walk the feet towards the hands. I'm going to fold forward. And then lengthen through the spine, reach the arms out to the side, come all the way upright. And exhale, bring your hands to the center of your heart. Just relaxing here. Breath is flowing. All right, so let's come into Garudasana. We'll start with the arms. So we're going to bend the right arm and bring the left arm underneath and bring the palms to touch. Start by just breathing behind the shoulders, feeling that stretch. And then bend both knees and cross your left leg over your right. See if you can hook the toe behind. And just feel your balance here. You can always fold forward if you like. I'm going to stay upright. Just a few breaths here, squeezing the inner thighs, drawing the abdomen back to the spine. And then release. And then changing sides, bringing the other arm in front, crossing the other leg over, hooking the foot behind. Feeling your balance here, squeezing the inner thighs. And then coming out when you're ready. And then from here, we're going to raise the arms up. Take a big breath. And exhale, soften and fold forward. And we're going to step back onto the hands and knees. And let's bring the elbows directly underneath the shoulders, interlace the fingers, press into your forearms, and lift up into your dolphin pose. Let your head be hanging. And staying here for a moment. If it gets uncomfortable, of course, come down. Maybe you'd like to lift one leg into the air, and lower, and then lift the other leg into the air, and lower. And then let's just inch the feet back so that we come onto the forearms here. Forearm plank, just hold. And then lower the hips and bring the forearms up in front. Coming into Sphinx pose. So just resting here for a moment. Inhalation, exhalation. Just noticing how you feel right now. You can slow your breath down. Right, and then turn your elbows to the side, relax your cheek on your hands, and just feel the whole front of the body relaxed into the floor, the back of the legs. So that was quite a dynamic half an hour. And start to slow things down. So coming onto your right forearm, take hold of your left ankle. Press through your left forearm and draw your left ankle back. Looking straight ahead, breathe. And then if you can, reach your palm, right, with your fingers pointing backwards. See if you can turn your hand around. So your elbow comes up and you're drawing your heel beside your buttock. Let's notice how that feels, quite strong on the thigh. If that's not working, just hold however you like to your foot and draw your heel beside your buttocks. But for those who want to try, you can turn the hand around. All right, and then release, and we'll do that on the other side. So we're going to come up onto the forearm, hold onto the ankle, and draw the ankle away, feeling that opening through the chest. All right, and then from here, we're going to take hold of the foot and turn the hand around so the fingers face towards the front. And we try and draw the heel towards the buttock. Deep breaths here. All right, and then release your leg, turn your head to the other side or the same side. Notice if your body wants to take a long, slow, deep breath, go with it. Okay, now the option is to come into Dhanurasana, holding on to the ankles and lifting up, or we're going to go to this other pose, which I can't remember the name right now, but you start with the right leg rolling around, and then try not to have a cramp in your foot, and then you take the other side and you roll around, roll your wrist around, and then draw the heels aside and hold there, right? So Dhanurasana is much easier. Can't believe I even did that pose. Just breathing here, opening the chest. And then release. And just lie. Maybe moving your buttocks from side to side for a moment. Right, and then we're going to press up onto the hands and knees. And I guess it's time to bring the big toes together and the knees wide, but we're not going to go forwards. So we're actually going to go backwards. And so if this isn't going to work for you, come into Baddha Konasana. We'll probably go into Baddha Konasana again a bit later. But just taking your hands back here, tucking your tailbone under, feeling the stretch through the front of the thighs. You might like to come onto your forearms. Maybe that feels fine to do. Really squeeze your buttocks here. So the more you push your buttocks, the more you stretch to the front of the thighs. Maybe some of us are comfortable completely lying down. You want to make sure that your knees do not come off the floor in this position. You can always go onto a bolster or something like that if you'd like. Otherwise, just keep your hands behind you. Just keep stretching. So this is also a little bit of a back bend. If you're on the floor or on a bolster, you could reach your arms up over your head as well. Okay, and then just making your way back onto your forearms, sliding them back, lifting up. And then from here, we're going to come forwards into forward Virasana. Feeling that deep inner thigh stretch. Okay, so slowly coming up. And bringing the knees together. We're going to sit to one side. We're going to start with just a Marichasana. So crossing the right thigh over the left thigh, remembering that if you tend to sit on the back of your sitting bones, you will want to have a blanket underneath you, a little bit of height to make your shoulders and your hips in line. And then you're going to hug that right shin in towards you and rotate around to the right. And just feeling your breath here, slowing down. And then just rotate around the other way. Now, if this feels okay to you to do, we're going to come into the Gomukhasana legs, right? So the right thigh on top of the left thigh. If this is not a comfortable position for you, a couple of options. One, you could have, you could have a block underneath you. So you could come onto your hands and knees here, place the block long ways behind you, and sit up on the block. So that's a really nice option. If it's still tight for you in that position, then you're going to do it in a reclining position, just holding on to the shins as you lean back. But for those of us who can, and it's totally comfortable, I'm going to cross the right thigh over the left. And you can either, we've done this a lot where we put our hands on our feet, or you can take yourself forward. So see how that feels today, to really come forwards, stretching into the buttocks. You can rest your chin on your knee, or you can rest your forehead on the block. For some of us, this might be the most stressful part of the practice. We can handle all the sun salutations and all the activity, but when we get into these deep external rotators, we might find there's quite a lot of tension and sensation there. I'm not going to call it pain, but it could be pain. All right, and then slowly come upright and place your left hand on your right knee and rotate your torso in an open position around to the right. And then release the legs. Just extend the legs out in front for a moment. And then whichever way is comfortable for you, if you need to come back onto the block or you want to lie down as you do this, whatever works for you. You can stay upright, or you can take that deep dive and take yourself forward, stretching into the outer hip, squeezing the buttock. Noticing where you feel the tension. Maybe you'd like to place the block underneath your forehead. All right, and then slowly coming up, placing your right hand on your left knee and rotating around to the left. And then again, just extend the legs. Let's actually extend them out to the side in Upavista Konasana. Again, you can sit up on something, so that's more comfortable. And then just slowly walk your hands out in front. Just going to that point where you feel the stretch in your inner thigh. Having your knees pointing to the ceiling. So your practice, and I've said this many times, is really a combination of the Ha, the sun energy, and the Ta, the moon energy. So when we get into these seated poses, right, we are slowing down, slowing the breath down, the mind starts to calm down, but we don't want to go so slow that we're not activating. So we're activating the thighs so that we're opening the inner thighs, we're protecting the knee by engaging the thighs. The spine is engaged and long, so we can feel the front of the body engaged, the back of the body engaged, and even the chin is down, so that we're working with the outlet of the parasympathetic system, right, which is at the nape of the neck. It's the what they call the brachial plexus. And so it's out of there that we want to calm everything down. So by dropping the chin and lengthening the back of the neck, it's like a gentle Jalandhara Bandha, a chin lock. We're supporting the whole nervous system to slow down. And then let's walk our hands over to the right. If we can hold our toe and reach the arm up over the head, coming into a side lean. Still engaging the thigh muscles, flexing through the feet, keeping the body strong. And coming upright, holding on to the other toe, raising the other arm up over the head. Changing the legs. And coming up. And then bring your hands behind you and scissor your legs together. And then from here, we're going to lie back and come into Viparita Karani. So you could do this on a rolled blanket, or you could do this on a block or even a bolster. So you want to have something underneath your lower back. And then lifting the legs into the air. So if you want to do the full Viparita Karani and hold your hands and hold your hips in your hands, you can. But it's just as nice to have a little bit of support underneath your lower back and just to lift your legs into the air. And then just let everything slow down. All right, and then slowly draw your knees into your chest. Let's come into happy baby. So if you're on a bolster or a block and it's not comfortable to do happy baby on the block, make sure to take it away. Sometimes it can be quite nice to do it on a bolster or a blanket. And then draw the knees right towards the armpits as you hold the feet here. And then bring the soles of the feet together and let the feet drop to the floor. Just let the knees come open, just resting for a moment in Baddha Konasana. You might be more comfortable with blocks underneath your thighs. Okay, and then from here, slowly straighten your legs. And let's come into, actually, before we do Shavasana, if you wouldn't mind coming back up to a comfortable seat, I'd like to finish with Garuda Mudra. So you're going to have your thumbs interlaced and your hands open, and just bring them to rest on your chest. And let your breath settle. And so the eagle is the vehicle for Vishnu. Vishnu represents the sustainer, the preserver, quality of love. Love is another intangible, abundant quality. But the eagle also flies through the air and has that incredible overarching vision where it can see beyond limitation. And so the eagle somehow represents or reminds us of our own limitless nature. All right, and then let's release our hands, and now let's lie back for Shavasana. So making sure you're really comfortable. It's quite a strong practice today, lots of stretching, lots of strength work. So just notice how it feels in your body right now. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. Om Namo Narayana. So slowly bring your awareness back to your body, gently moving your fingers and your toes. You might like to reach your arms up over your head and take a big stretch. And then maybe roll to the side for a moment. And then bringing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Bring your hands on your body somewhere. And just wishing you an absolutely beautiful rest of your day, rest of your evening, wherever you're tuning in from. Thank you so much. Hari Om.